Dear listeners, I would like to share with you a placard from a demonstration in Berlin which reads, Gaza's kids are starving. German kids are being fed lies. Indeed, Germany has been programming its children with falsehoods from the post-war era until today. The German society has been cowardly enough that they haven't managed to fight back and free themselves from the lies of their history. So while a genocide is ongoing against the Palestinians by Israeli fascists and settlers co-sponsored by the German authorities, does society truly care about that? It's worth mentioning that over 80 parliamentary seats still belong to the AfD, and it is important to note that German Jewish newspaper chief is a non-Jewish AfD representative. This represents either Germany's anti-AfD climax or the instrumentalization of antisemitism. But let's not digress too far. In Münster, while the university of that city shamelessly serves Zionism or openly supports the genocide, a few university students wanted to organize a concert as a cultural response to imperialist repression and to raise humanitarian awareness, a bare minimum response to a genocide. They proposed that the city's self-proclaimed left-leaning bar slash pub to organize that concert. However, it seems the left stream has taken a page from the right stream by canceling the event, while a genocide is happening, resulting in an ultimate humanitarian disaster, a famine. We discussed about this cancellation with the organizers.
Unrest Radio.
So this month we wanted to organize a solidarity concert for the victims of the Israeli war against Gaza. We had done solidarity events in the past, and we were collecting donations for the people suffering from the earthquakes in Turkey or Syria, for example. We made it very clear that our priority was the people suffering, starving, being injured, or losing relatives in Gaza, which we wanted to raise donations for them. We were in contact with a lot of bands, musicians, artists, and for that concert. But the only problem was, of course, we needed a space. The Leo Kneipe is a space where we had done many concerts in the past, events or other stuff we had also done there. The collaborations were always successful. We raised a lot of money, and we didn't have any problems. So at this time, our leftist community booked the Leo Bar, this space, for our date for our concert. And we told them we wanted a solidarity concert for Gaza, and then they sent us the message that they need to think about that. The collective who runs the bar is referring themselves as a dying group, which means they're having not so much capacities. So they were delaying the answer for us for many weeks. So this is a problem for us because, of course, the delaying of a concert is pretty difficult because we have obligations for the musicians, for our friends, for our comrades, which themselves have a very strict timetable. And of course, we need to tell them in advance if this concert is going to happen and when it is going to happen. And they're also trusting us, of course, So after weeks have passed, we asked them again, and we got a very late response that they need to further discuss this topic. Our messages were ignored for a week, and even after a personal meeting, we couldn't get an answer. Just a bit more than 1 week before the concert should take place, they told us that they couldn't agree on us holding the concert at their space, which means they canceled the concert at their space. We didn't get any reasoning for why there were no agreement in the group. We think that this way of communicating is really, really rude. We were ignored, we were delayed. We needed to tell our musician comrades, which they are trusting us, that we cannot give them a date over and over again, which was also pretty tough for us. That we couldn't get a reasoning why this event was cancelled at the end by the Leo group is also not understandable to us, and it shows a huge disrespect from the collective against us. Of course, we know they're a dying collective, as I mentioned, but I think if you're a dying collection and you cannot run your space anymore efficiently, which they showed us with their inactivity, then I think as a collective you should not hold on to this power. You should not clinch to your authority, and you should at least do others their political action if you cannot run it by yourself. Let others run the solidarity concert. So this is just another example of so-called leftist spaces who are closing their eyes on what is happening in Gaza right now. They're often taking of both sides, but this is not even the reason of that. Even if you don't want to choose a side, which is, if you see the death polls a bit hilarious, in my opinion, the bare minimum should be that we want to help these in need, these in distress. We want to help them. We raise donations for them. So, Leo Collective, if you don't want to choose a side, you have chosen a side already when you're canceling this concert in solidarity with the people in need. You have made it clear that this anti-Deutsch scene for you is more important than the people in Gaza. You didn't have the space didn't have to do anything. We were only asking for doing and managing our event at this place. This is, I think, a very good example of why you cannot be neutral in this conflict, because when you are canceling an event, you're not longer neutral. Then you have chosen a side, even if you don't want to choose a side. Yeah. So this is also, of course, yet another example of like the Rote Flora, for example, in Hamburg, and also university spaces and a lot of many other left spaces that are just very scared about losing the anti-Deutsch scene. That are scared of the media and the state, that they don't want to be wrongfully labeled as Islamist terrorists. So these leftist spaces has shown that there are more space for moderate social democrats or ideological lefts, which will cancel opinions that are not popular in the state politics. Well, they're ignoring the fact that also right-wing parties like AfD or the authoritarian neoliberal government are having very same opinion on the Israeli war against Gaza. It seems that so many leftists are actually more social democrats with nationalist or an Eurocentristic international worldview. Well, they are also drifting towards authoritarianism. When governmental banning and repressions for the good thing becomes the preference, the option, when canceling opinions that are making strong points for the people in Gaza are getting banned, it's also not a surprise that banning political actions from lower class people or people who are experiencing racism is an option for these places that call themselves leftist. That the collective is, by what they have mentioned, mostly also not lower class and mostly white German, is also not a big surprise there. I think we need more leftist spaces, yes, but we need spaces who are open-minded, who are standing for the ones who are suffering, who are not run by people who want to just hang on their authority, even if they cannot manage it. We need spaces that are truly for these people. This is my opinion. So we will, of course, continue fighting for the people in distress, especially for the people in Gaza, which are being murdered by the Israeli government. And we hope to make this solidarity concert happen in the future at another space.
To be fair, I was not the person who was actively involved in organizing this, but I was like a side witness to this. It was interesting that at the beginning things seemed to be okay, but the more we, as a group, interacted with Leo, it was less of a surprise that they, in the end, came with this vague rejection, which is quite how can I say it? It's very much in the vein of how they navigate this whole situation, because they somehow don't want to actively say their minds or openly express their minds, which seem to be that they don't take into account human lives and human sufferings unless it's connected to their sense of guilt, I would say. So it's very hard as a non-German to actually understand their logic, because they seem to mix feelings with realpolitik and with very broken image of what left values should stand for or are standing for. In a way, this was predictable, but what annoyed me the most was the fact that they never actually tried to sit down and ask what the purpose of the concert was. They always kind of backed off from the conversation, found a way around, tiptoeing around it, and of course this is very infuriating, because I mean, we are talking about thousands and thousands of people who are losing their lives, or who are on the other side and are here in Germany safe, in theory, but they cannot express, they cannot publicly express their, or if they do express their feelings and their emotions, they are shamed, they are censured. So of course this cannot be in any way labeled as a leftist attitude. If you go with the mainstream and try to, of course, in a more polite and in a more roundabout way, censure people and their emotions, and to which they and all the people are entitled. It's a very silent and perverse form of repression in a way, if you come to think about it, because if you know from the very beginning that you are not welcome in a place, then you know how to react. But if people kind of send you mixed signals and they are very nice to you in private conversations, but then as a group they don't allow you to express your feelings, then I would say it's even worse if you come to think about it. I would say the irony is that part of rejecting even the possibility of a discussion on the theme, is because apparently the left scene, the local left scene, is being divided by this quote unquote controversial theme. But the thing is, the left was always divided. It was never, looking back in history, that the left was never uniform or unitarian in any shape or form. So this argument is actually not based in reality. Is so divorced from reality that it cannot be taken seriously, right? It's obviously a very easy way out to invoke, oh yeah, this is a controversial topic, and this would divide the left, so we prefer to have, quote unquote, the left united, and ignore the killings, the oppression, and everything that goes around in the world. This doesn't make any sense, right?
Yes, totally, that doesn't make any sense. So that more often within the society we can see the left are turning into neoliberal project, being servant of the capitalism, hunting for privilege.